You're listening to the Oneofus.net podcast network. Snatched. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Queen for some reason. I don't know why. Savior of This Week in Cinema? No, maybe not. I don't know. We haven't seen King Arthur, which was playing versus this, but I'm going to say that this was, despite my mixed feelings about it, still probably better than King Arthur.
Well, I have not forgiven Guy Ritchie yet for Man from U.N.C.L.E. and just the debacle he did with that. And so, I mean, I chose this one because I thought, well, I'd rather go into theater probably knowing I'm going to laugh than hoping I'm not disappointed, which would have been the case with the other one. So,
yeah, 2.5 hours of disappointment.
Yeah, probably.
We're starting our review talking about this movie by not talking about this movie, but talking about the other movie we didn't actually see. Yeah. By the way, joining us for the first time in a long time, I had you on mic once before back in the Spill days.
Yeah,
my friend,
once or twice.
Yeah, my friend Lara, who hopefully I can talk into coming out to more movies now that her littler kid is
seeing a movie in the theater again. Oh my god!
Now that her littler kids are more like teenagers,
yeah,
they can fend for themselves.
Yes,
so
they can.
Mom, I can't believe you went to see that new mutant movie without me.
Oh yeah.
Lara, thank you for coming out tonight to see this.
Yeah,
with
sure.
me.
Thanks.
I know you were like, I needed a comedy.
Yeah, comedy good. Yeah, 2.5 hours of Guy Ritchie disappointment would not have been
no
as good. Although I would have rallied.
Sure.
I would have hoped for the snatch of Days of Yore.
I would have too. But,
but instead, Snatched.
Yeah. Let's say this is. There's a Guy Ritchie joke in here somewhere between Guy Ritchie Snatched and this movie Snatched, but I haven't quite gotten onto it. But in case you didn't know, Snatched, which is definitely like a pun, kind of like.
Well, for the longest time, it was untitled mother-daughter action comedy.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, up until, I think, maybe Christmas.
I bet there was some amount of battling about how appropriate this would be. But to be fair, this is definitely a kind of a filthy comedy, as it were.
It is.
It's Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn, mother and daughter, who go on vacation to Ecuador. They get kidnapped, which is actually a very small, surprising portion of the movie on the whole.
It is. Actually.
This was only an hour and a half long, essentially.
Yes.
And so they're like, oh, okay, get it. They've been snatched. And it's two women, so like snatches because it's Amy Schumer, like dirty humor. There's a lot of that kind of jokes going on here. There's some conversations that are supposed to get you to a joke that are so like, who talks like that?
Yeah.
Moments. Like there's a thing where she's pointing out her embarrassing tramp stamp on her back.
Which is actually a true story. I've heard her talk about that in interviews.
But the guy goes, did you finish? Which was like, wait a minute, what do you mean did you finish? She goes, no, but lots of people finished on it. And I was like, ew.
But you know that's Schumer improvising. Like, you know that wasn't in the script. You know that was her.
It very well could have been.
Yeah.
Stealing right from her own routine.
Yeah, from her own routine, obviously. Yeah.
But that's the thing about this movie. On the whole, the plot felt like almost completely an afterthought.
Totally.
Right?
No,
like, I mean,
completely, yeah.
There's so little actual plot to the film as it is. I mean, like we said, so little of it is actually them being abducted. I mean, like you've got like a big solid front end of like, hey, look what a horrible millennial type she is. She's just a terrible person. Nobody likes her in her own life. Her own mother doesn't even really like her. Goldie Hawn, who's become a shut-in and lives with her cats, which seems fine to me. That's my life goal.
And her equally shut-in son.
Yeah, equally shut-in son, played by Ike Barinholtz, who actually gets some of the funniest moments in this film.
He was genuinely...
Even though he was kind of wearing nerd blackface, but still.
This, really, really bad 80s glasses as well. But, no, I think, it becomes pretty evident early on, this is not going to be a movie about plot or script or anything like that. This is just going to be about actors and moments, and then one setup after another. Yeah. And thank God I found those setups really funny. Yeah, and funny enough to where I didn't mind there was absence of plot.
Yeah, moments of true laugh out loud hilarity that were just basically your jump scares. a la, comedy.
The comedy equivalent of jump scares.
Or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, that cat was hysterical.
Yeah, right? But those moments were truly laugh out loud funny, which I just kept hoping for more of them because they,
But unfortunately, not everything they set up pays off here. And one of the things I'm going to point at is specifically Joan Cusack and Wanda Sykes as two, like, the most crowbarred in side characters I've maybe ever seen in a comedy.
We didn't even need them in the movie.
Literally just come up and start randomly talking to them at a resort. And they're like,
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, she's like, Wanda Sykes going, my friend Joan Cusack, she's an ex-special ops person. And you're like, okay, so we see where this is going to go. And then ultimately there is no payoff really to that at all. Like they set up like there's going to be, and then there really isn't. There's a few sequences with a stunt person pretending to be Joan Cusack flipping around, but that's about it.
I think the worst mistake they made with that little bit was not having Joan Cusack talk, because Joan Cusack is hilarious.
Yeah, why would they even add that thing? Oh yeah, she's a mute. And it's like...
She cut her own tongue out and... Okay.
That one joke. It was just for that one joke.
Yeah,
she said at the beginning.
And it's at the expense of probably a few other jokes that they could have had.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm a big fan of the actor Christopher Maloney, who's in here.
Oh my gosh.
Playing what feels like it's going to be a setup to Romancing the Stone.
Yes.
I kept waiting for someone to come up and go, Joan Wilder?
Yeah, I know, right? Me too, with the big truck, and it would have been hilarious.
Yeah, but there's another joke that, like, admittedly has a very funny punchline to it, but as, was kind of like, okay, well, that was just another way to eat up screen time more than anything else to get us, to take us through these jokes that the movie's actually about, because God knows that this movie's not about the plot.
It's not really about anything, really. But at the same time, I liked how, I thought, okay, well, Wanda Sykes and Joan Cusack, they're going to come in and help save the day, and then the truck, they just go off on a truck.
Right.
So I thought, okay, well, that's sort of, and then Chris Maloney, I thought, oh, okay, let me guess, he's going to be like an Indiana Jones type of character, and he's going to, help save the day as well, and possibly end up with Goldie Hawn. And, he, spoiler alert, can we do that? Can we just say it?
Let's not say it.
Okay, let's not say it, but, he doesn't, for lack of a better, and I like that, okay. So I guess I got to give it some applause where it, it didn't go the most obvious choices that I thought it would go.
That's true.
I mean, to some degree, even though that's true, when it got to those points, I was always like, oh, well, this is what's about to happen. Like, you always knew a minute before something was going to happen.
The predictability was
going to happen.
Yeah.
Not as expected, but still predictable.
Yeah.
Unexpected predictability?
Yeah.
Perhaps?
There you go. This is like one of the first movies to actually do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at its worst, like, sometimes this movie gets a little too weirdly crude, like awkwardly crude.
Yes, I
You're
agree.
like, duh, why would you even say that?
Yeah.
We're like, I get it, that's kind of Amy Schumer's bit, but nobody would actually say that to another person they didn't know.
Yeah.
There's quite a few moments like that where it's like, okay.
And they were awward.
Very
and
awkward.
The whole audience was feeling it awkwardly.
Yeah. I do know a few people that would say stuff that's wildly inappropriate just to get a reaction. Thing is that she's playing it like she would, like that's just her natural personality. Like she's, not getting a reaction. That's just really her.
It does feel like more of a market for her stand-up act than it does a movie on its own.
Yes.
The other thing
it would be more successful if she actually put it into a real plot because she's really funny.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it would be great if they actually had a likable character and an entire plot built around her
if they had bothered to have anyone write a real story around this.
I would totally go see it. I mean, I saw this. I was good, but
they don't even try to redeem her, sort of negative qualities.
They do a little bit, but in that sort of half-assed, sort of like, okay, now it's time in the movie when she should be redeemed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's literally a bit where she wakes up after being unconscious and is like, hey, these native people, they just work and their lives are happy. I think I'll be a good person now.
Right. Here's our moment.
Yeah.
Here's my next moment.
I'm curious about what this guy Jonathan Levine, what he's directed, because I know Paul Feig had a
Paul Feig, a producer, of course,
and he's notorious for just letting actors and actresses just go on camera and do their thing. But Jonathan Levine was actually, his name was bandied about quite a bit in the beginning of his career when he came out with All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, which was one of those films that was held in, like, after people saw it at festivals forever. No, for a long time.
And everyone was like, when do we get to see this fucking movie with Amber Heard, which was a big early film for her. Mm-hmm. And then it finally did, and we all went, oh, that really wasn't all that great.
That's true.
But then later he ended up doing Warm Bodies, which was excellent.
I really liked Warm Bodies.
Really, really good.
And I like 50-50, too.
And also ran the Night Before.
I never saw that, but I really want to.
Oh, man.
I love a good raunchy Christmas comedy.
I really like The Night Before, and I usually don't like that kind of movie. But anyway, point is, he can do the jokes. Why didn't he work harder on a plot here? And even at its worst, there are these you know, in comedies, the equivalent of Alfred Hitchcock's, anytime you see a gun in the drawer, you know it's going to be used to shoot someone later. Mm-hmm. Like that's the MacGuffin. Like comedy MacGuffins. Like in this one, there's like a dog whistle and stuff like that that are so cheap in the way that they are used. I mean, like there's literally like 4 of them that are used all in 10 seconds of this movie to wrap shit up. And you're like, really? That was your big, oh, remember this from earlier in the movie? Okay, now we're going to use it.
Because they've carried nothing else with them, but they have that dog whistle still. They're stripped of everything that
That's a long build up for that one.
I know, yeah.
And just, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm thinking too hard about a comedy, but there's a certain degree of just like, if you want me to feel and actually feel something for your characters, if it's not just based on pure absurdity, which is fine, that kind of comedy, but if you actually want me to feel something and this warmth between these characters and growth, then probably it shouldn't get too surreal, right? And this movie just goes not like trying to be surreal, but like sort of, it's a comedy, it doesn't matter, nobody's going to care if this doesn't make any sense what just happened.
That is true. That is true on something. I don't know. I did manage one moment of like, oh man, and that's when mother and daughter separate. You know, that moment when she said, "No, you go," and I'm going to stay here. I thought, oh man. I don't know. That just sort of got to me. I don't know. Maybe because Mother's Day is coming up.
How long has it been since you've talked to your mom, Frank?
I responded to a text today of her asking me if I was going to come home for Mother's Day.
And you were like, oh, hell no.
No, I was like...
And then you felt guilty all
Well, like most sons, whenever I see text from my mom, I was like, oh no, what did I do? Still to this day, even in my mid-30s, I'm like, okay, what did I do?
I know there's always a certain amount for me of like, she's going to tell me what I'm eating wrong and what I'm doing wrong. And
and it's going to be like this long.
That part of their relationship, I was like, that seems really familiar. Yeah. I know what that's like where you're like, I know she does it out of a place of love, but Jesus, she's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And there's actually that part of the relationship in here. I was like, okay, that was the most realistic thing in the movie, I thought, was like, there's a lot of real mother-daughter or mother-son relationship stuff going on.
Yeah, you can sort of see...
The brother and sister relationship? At the very beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh my God, I felt like I was watching my own young children. Young people.
Not in their 30s, but...
Not in their 30s, no. But young children doing that, it was hilarious for me.
Gosh.
Yes.
You can understand why they have the relationship they do, and why she sort of pulled away from her mom and try to,
I mean,
I didn't work on that enough though to really make me care.
Not in terms of like real character scripting, but you gotta hand it to them. They had good banter together.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah, they got great chemistry, and they're from two completely different styles of comedy.
Yeah.
And I was surprised they worked as well as they did.
Goldie Hawn at this point is like, wait, Amy Schumer wants to be in her movie? Okay, yes.
No, it was the other way around. She chased Goldie Hawn down, and Goldie Hawn was like,
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amy Schumer was like, contact Goldie Hawn and went like, hey, I want you to be in a movie. Yeah. And like Goldie Hawn probably was like, somebody wants me to be in their movie that's actually going to get a wide release? When was the last time Goldie Hawn was even in a movie?
The Banger Sisters.
Well, I don't know.
But she turned down that, she said yes originally, then she turned down that movie that Jane Fonda ended up taking that movie that
I don't know.
Jason Bateman, Tina Fey, and Adam Driver. The father dies. This is where I leave you.
Yes.
Don't remember that one either.
Oh, I loved that one.
Did you? I don't remember.
There's a lot of good stuff in that one. It was not perfect, but
it was
very rarely is a comedy perfect.
But you don't want to see Tina Fey doing drama, which is what
they can't all be 22 Jump Street. Frank, why don't you go into your final thoughts?
It becomes pretty evident early on that this is not going to be a movie that's really about plot or great, a clever script. And this is written by Katie Dippold, who wrote, I think her claim to fame is The Heat. And
which is okay.
Yeah, but that's a film that had at least a consistent screenplay, and had two comedic actresses that were able to bounce their own stuff off of each other. So this one, why she couldn't do the same thing with this was sort of disappointing. This really is not. It's not a plot-driven film. It's a film about moments, and it's half the moments in the trailer aren't even in the film. It feels longer than it is. It's only an hour and a half, but it's got a lot of good laughs, and it's got a lot of good laughs because it's cast right. Ike Barinholtz is funny. Chris Maloney is I never thought he could be funny.
Oh, sure.
And I've never seen him in anything funny until...
Every time he's in something, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And so, he's worth the price of admission alone, in my humble opinion. But, I like Amy Schumer. I like her, her no filter. And I like, Goldie Hawn's bubbling, personality, just like many people have. And those two ladies have enough of a fan base and a cross-section of fans that I think that this will be a pleaser. This will be a pleaser. But don't go, it's frothy. It's raunchy. It's not really doesn't make that much of a comment on parent-child relationships and how to improve them. But, nobody going to this is really looking for that anyways.
It's like, I don't know how to communicate with my daughter. Oh, look, I'll go see Snatched. That should help.
There you go. Actually, I was like, I'm going to take my dad to go see this. Yeah, he'd like this because he loves Goldie Hawn. Yeah.
He's like, Private Benjamin is one of the all-time greats.
They don't make them
like that anymore.
That's good, but
they do now, Dad. Snatched.
But, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. I'm going to be generous and give it 8 fake selfies that look like I'm having fun out of 10.
Lara?
I like it. Okay, so my final thoughts on this. I enjoyed it. Moments of true hilarity that made me laugh out loud. They caught me by surprise. Laugh out loud, which is nice. The ones that I didn't predict weren't so predictable, but I'm going to give it a 7. Primarily because I really wanted more of a plot. I really did. Because I think that it was totally possible. I think that all the people in there are capable of it. Everyone had great performances. The banner was great. The chemistry, like you said, is really good. But I really wanted more of a story that actually linked the characters together. And not just so much froth.
Less of a device.
Yeah, I mean, just all the setups and payoffs. I mean, I don't want to... If I wanted to go to a comedy routine, I'd go to a comedy routine. And if you're a fan of Amy Schumer, you're going to go and you're going to watch it.
I want a little more than a shoddily constructed plot around what
and
feels like the rehearsals for a comedy routine.
And all these people have proven that they are more than capable of this. It seems like they didn't spend enough time in pre-production trying to make sure the script worked well. Yeah. But,
she's got enough of a presence. Amy Schumer has enough of a presence to actually carry a movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think she could.
But I didn't warn you, speaking of device, I didn't warn you ahead of time. We do what we call the arbitrary rating. Like, he did, what you did, 8, what again?
Fake selfies.
I have to give that?
Yeah, I have to pick something out of the movie or something representative to be the...
However number.
But I'll come back to you if you want.
Oh, no. How about 7 crushed beer cans that are full?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I am well known on the site as the comedy curmudgeon when it comes to films. I'm definitely the person who is the hardest on comedy. I don't know what happened. A little piece of my soul died at some point. I really don't know.
You found the Glee of How to Be a Latin Lover a couple weeks ago.
I'm sorry?
You found the Glee of How to Be a Latin Lover a couple weeks ago.
I managed to get through that with a few laughs. That's about as much as I'll say for that.
That was fun.
But this is definitely better than How to Be a Latin Lover. But I also still feel this is just an okay comedy. This is kind of I need more. I need to be surprised, and I just didn't feel surprised. I mean, they say that's the key to comedy is surprise, right? There's no surprises here really at all. It's not even surprising that Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn make a good team together. I was like, they do. I would love to see them do a stand-up comedy routine on stage together or do a movie that's actually a movie, because Snatched is not actually a movie. Like I said, the kidnapping thing is actually so little of the actual film. As you said, a lot of the side characters are fun, but are so barely in the film. Like Christopher Maloney, you're like, oh, this is great. He's really going to take this. He's going to move the plot forward. We're going to accelerate this. And then he's gone before you know it.
But he also did not stay as welcome, though.
That's true, but he wasn't playing an obnoxious character either.
No.
Which usually the only ones you have to worry about outstaying their welcome. Like if there was any more Ike Barinholtz than there is, I probably would have said, okay, that was too much Ike Barinholtz. But it's the perfect amount here for what is there. Weird that we never saw Randall Park again. Didn't you totally think that who plays her boyfriend and breaks up with her in the beginning? Like he's a musician, he's on tour. You're like, come on, you're seriously not going to have him, like, her show up somewhere where he's playing and, like,
Oh, that would have been so
dating
great.
now she's dating like Jason Momoa or something. You know?
Yeah, that would have been good.
A year later,
It just. I bet you anything there's a deleted scene that is exactly something like that. But that's the thing is, so many of the things in here are just that predictable that you're like, it's weird they didn't do that. Well, they did most of the things that normally you think it's weird they didn't do. In retrospect, you're like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should have been a little more surprising. Maybe you should have just, I don't know, made me feel like I was really watching a movie. Like I said, I'm going to give this 6 out of 10 angry tapeworms.
Oh my god!
Another sequence that, in my opinion, could have been left on the cutting room floor.
Did anybody see that Streisand-Rogen movie, The Guilt Trip?
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed that one.
How do you think it ranks compared to this one?
I did not see that.
It has been way too long since I've watched that one. I'm picturing you with like a well-worn copy on your shelf. You're like, this is secretly like my favorite comedy. I watched this.
No, I watched it once on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I'm curious to see, like, because that's like it's relatively young, comedic actor.
Yeah, a mother and son
going on a
road trip who have big problems with each other, and they slowly become together. I remember me feeling more emotionally connected to that one.
Yeah, me too. But I don't know. I'm wondering how how they would compare. Like, now seeing this one, you got like I don't know.
Yeah,
just spitballing here.
Yeah, this needed more stone romancing and less standing up against a brick wall in the 1980s on cable. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
I agree.
Perfect.